So we are about to create this creative app, to-do list app. Simply, the user will enter right in here the specific tasks, and it will show right in here in the tasks right down below in here. And whenever the user will just complete that specific task, it's gonna show the blue check with it. And also we will just create a beautiful design, as you guys can see right in here, the linear gradient color simply for the elbow and the body. And we will create some logic just for adding the new tasks and simply for the completion. So let me just test this in front of you guys. I'll say today my exams gonna be start at 5 p.m. and I'll just tap in here, add it. There we go. I'll add another one. Tomorrow I will see you soon. Tap, add it. I'll add another one. Hello boy. Just add it. You guys can see that. So you guys can simply scroll it like that. Okay, you guys can see that. And it's not completed yet. Okay, so that's why in here you guys didn't see the blue checked yet. So let's say if that specific talks right on the first index, if that's completed, then the user will tap in here and it will show the blue checked in here. So it just indicate that that specific talks right on the first index is completed. And let's say if that's completed, there we go, the blue checked and that one. So you guys can see the output right in here. It will work like that simply for adding the new task. Okay, so we will create this to-do list app right in this project. Okay, and the last thing that I will show, you guys can simply delete the completed tasks. How you guys will do that? Simply come here and long press on the specific task which is completed with the blue check. Okay, you guys can see that. Long press and boom, there we go. Long press and boom, there we go. So it's gonna work like that. So see you right in the app. Welcome back to Coding Cafe. So let's go ahead and start working on this project. So we will create a new Flutter project. Click in here and make sure to select the SDK part right in here, and then make sure in here just select the Flutter. Okay, right after that we will go and click next. Now as you guys know already, we will just give the project name right in here. And remember guys, the project name must be in small alphabets, and instead of space we will give the underscore. So let us go ahead. I'll give this as to-do underscore list underscore app. So there's going to be the name for our project, and in here we will work with the Android and iOS, and all of the remaining we will just unchecked. Now let's go ahead and create that project. Tap on it. So this will take a little while. There we go. It's just loading. Now right in here in the Android Studio, first I'll just close that readme from here, and in here the project is already selected, as you guys can see right in here. Okay, make sure it must be project in here. Now the next thing that we will do, we will go towards the lib directory, as you guys can see. Take this down. In here first we will create a new directory by the name to-do list. Okay, now right in this directory, right click, create a new .file, and it's going to be to-do list. And guys, the dot name must be in small alphabets, and instead of space we will give the underscore, as you guys can see right in here. Now there we go with our dot file, as you guys can see. Now right in here we will just have this title widget. So in here write ht, and then you guys will just notice this suggestion. Now I'll just give the name as to-do list app, and what I'll do next, in here take this down and import package Flutter, and then we'll go the material dot, and all the error has been gone. Now what we will do, we will simply go and just copy that class name from here, and we will just add this right in the main.dot. So right in here main.dot, first in here, as you guys know already, you will just wrap that comment lines and simply delete. Okay, now in here that class, you guys can see, specifically wrap it, the below one wrap it, and simply delete. Okay, and the next thing that I will do, I'll just delete this, and we'll just pass the name, which is to-do list app, that we copied before. So in here, now tap on it, red bulb, tap on it, and import the library. You guys can see that right in here, and also you can just add the const modifier to it, so the yellow line will be gone. Okay, and the next thing that we will do, from here we will just select the title and gonna give the beautiful name as to-do list app. Okay, now we are done with that. We will simply go towards the to-do list app. Okay, here we are right in this dot file. Now the first thing that I will do, I'll just create the UI. First of all, I'll go and click upon this device manager, open that. So simply we will go and open the emulator. Come here and click on this play button, it will just launch the emulator. Tap on it. We'll go towards the running devices. There we go. This will take a little time. Let me just check again. There we go, connecting to the emulator. There we go. Here we are now. So whenever we will just change something right in our code, I'll show you the result, then write it at real time. So for now, right in the main.dot, we already call upon the to-do list app. Okay, this class. In here, if we scroll down in here, as you guys can see right in the widget build, there is just empty placeholder widget. Okay, now if I just want to load the app, run the app, there will be just the placeholder. Okay, you guys will notice that in a while. Just wait. So right after that, the first thing that we will do, we will just set the app bar. Okay, first let me just check upon that. Okay, you're just installing the app. There we go. Okay, you guys can see right in here the placeholder is just totally empty for now, and that's the output you guys can see on the screen. So the first thing that we will do, we will go and remove that debug banner from here, that red one. So for this specific purpose, we will go towards the main.dot, as you guys can see right in here, and right in the material app we will call upon the debug show check mode banner, and we will set this to false. And now if you guys just press the Ctrl S, the banner will be gone. There we go, you guys can see that now there is no banner. So let's go back to the to-do list app right in here. I'll remove that from here, and I'll just return the scaffold widget right in here, because we are about to set the app bar. Okay, So in here, app bar widget, brushes, take this down. Right in the app bar, we'll set the title. Okay, and right in title, we'll have the text widget in order to get the text. Okay, so in here, I'll give the name as to do list, and that would be good. And also you will write app. Now right after that, I'll just add the const modifier just to remove that yellow line. There we go. Now if you guys just press the Control S, you guys will notice that app bar. Control S. There we go. You guys can see that, because right in here we return the scaffold, and there we go with the output. And right in the scaffold we just set the app bar, and there we go with our title. And you guys can see that right on the left side, right at top. So I'll just set this right in here, right in the center. So for this specific purpose, I'll just set this to true. Center title, and set it to true. And now press the Control S, and boom, there we go. Now below the app bar, right in the body, first I'll have the padding widget in here, and we will do some padding in here. So as instruct, in here we will go with the dot all. We're gonna simply just apply it to all side, and we will set it to 16.0. okay, right after that, I'll take the child column is child widget in here, column widget, take this down. First I'll set the property. Okay, so we're gonna simply just set that right at start, the text that we are about to create. So it's gonna be right in the start. So in here we just set that property for that. And in here children, take this down from here. Right in there, I'll take the text widget, as I told you already about this, in here comma, and take this down from here. So in here string, I'll say add new task in here. Okay, you guys will notice that in a while whenever we'll just complete that. Now I'll do a little style for that. So in here text style, and I'll just set the font size. We'll set it to 18.0. You guys can see that right in here for now. Scroll down. So now if I press the Control S, you guys will notice that. Control S, and there we go. You guys can see add a new task. Okay, later on we will create a text field right down below in here, but first I'll go and add the text that it will say talks. Okay, now down in here, first I'll set the size box. We're gonna simply just give the height 20. Okay, this will create some height between the text above, add new talks, and the text that we're about to create. So in here text widget, you guys can see that right in here comma, take this down. Now in here string, and I'll say tasks. Okay, there we go. And right after that, in here comma, let's do some style for that. So in here text style, and then I'll say font size. We'll set it to 19.0, and then we'll set the font weight for it too. So in here font weight, there we go. I'll go with the dot bold. Now Control S, and there we go with the output. Okay, task working totally fine. Now down below in here, as I told you already, you will create a text field simply for adding the new task. Okay, so it's right here, and below that in here text. First I'll create the text form field. You guys can see that right in here. Okay, in here comma, and take this down. Now right in the text form field, first we will go and create the controller, because we're gonna need that right in here. Whenever the user will put something right in the text form field in here that we're about to create, for example adding the new talks, so we're gonna have the controller, and it's gonna simply just get that the content that user will write right in here. So first of all, right in there, let me just create the controller. So in here we'll say text editing controller. Now we'll make that private, so controller, the name instance, and then we say text editing controller and write it and semicolon. You guys can see that. Now let's scroll down. We're about to just use that controller right in the text form field. So in here we'll say controller, and there we go, the control that we created above. In here paste it or manually write it. Now right in here we will just add the on tap event in here. So on tap in here, and now I'll just leave this empty. Later on we will create a method specific, and then we will be just working on that right in here, right in the on tap event. Okay, from now on just leave this empty. In here let me just add the const modifier, so the yellow line will be gone and the code will be clean. Now let me just run the app, and let's just see that text form field. There we go. Okay, you guys can see that text form field. If you guys just tap on here, there we go. Okay, also you can just write in here whatever you want. From now on we will just leave this empty. From here I'll remove the zoom control so the screen will be clear. So we are done with the text form field. Now I'll create some height, so it's gonna be a little down and it will look more good. So I'll simply just copy that from here, and right in here I'll paste it, and we will just set it to 10. Okay, Control S, and it's more fine now. Okay, now the next thing that I will do, I'll just add the linear gradient color, so the output will be more attractive. So for that specific purpose, what we will do, simply first for the app bar, in here I'll add the flexible space, and then we're gonna have the container widget in here. You guys can see that. We'll go with the decoration, box decoration, brushes, take this down, then we say gradient, and then in there linear gradient, brushes, take this down. Simply now we'll choose the color in here, bracket, and right in the bracket we'll just provide our colors. So I'll go with the light blue accent, and the other color that I will choose is gonna be pink accent, and in here comma, take this down. Now I'll provide the property, let's begin it. Alignment, I'll go with the top left, and in here comma, and also let's just end it. So we'll say alignment, you guys can see right in here. Okay, alignment, we'll go with the bottom right, in here comma. Now we can just add the const modifier, so the yellow line will be gone and the code will be clean. There we go. Now Control S, there we go. You guys can see the output right here. It's look more attractive than before. Now simply for the body, what I'll do, first we will go with that decoration from here to here, make sure, and come down. We'll wrap this padding with the container, and right in there we'll just paste that decoration. You guys can see that. Okay, now Control S, and then we go. You guys can see the output right here. It's look more attractive than before, like that. Okay, so it will just catch the user eye more. Now we'll go, and right above the widget build we will create some method, okay, in order to just get the new tasks whenever the user will put something right in here, and we will show the output then. So we're gonna need some kind of methods for this specific purpose. So above the widget build, that's a widget and build. Above that, right in here, we're gonna create methods now. So right in here, I'll say void. Okay, it will return nothing. So in here void, and then we'll make that private. So in here underscore, and then we'll give the name as add task. Okay, simply for adding the tasks, and we're gonna simply pass the parameter by the name task. Okay, and in here call the braces, take this down from here. Now right in this state, you will just change the result dynamically. So in here we will call upon the set state whenever we will just run the app. Okay, now in here we're gonna need the array, because the user will add multiple tasks right in here, and we're gonna store that right in the array. So what I'll do, right in here I'll say final keyword. So once something will assign to this specific array, it will not be changed. So we have to provide the final keyword right in here. It will just do the specific work then. And in here it's going to be list string type in here, and then it's going to be private. Gonna give the name task, and in here bracket. So that's the array that we created. Now right in the system, we'll just say task that we go, and simply we'll say add that we go with the suggestion, and in here we'll provide the value. The value will be task. Okay, which task? That one that we are passing in here. So right after that, in here semicolon, and just take this down. Right after that, whenever the task will be added, then we will simply just clear the controller. For example, if the user type in here something, the task specific, so whenever the user will press enter or tap, it will just add the task, and then we have to clear this area. So for that specific purpose, in here I'll just clear the controller, as I told you already about that specific controller. Okay, right in here, and we add it right in our text form field. Okay, now let's go above. We are done with the add task. You guys can see that right in here. Below that, in here we'll create another one. So in here white is going to return nothing, private, in here underscore. So we'll give the name as delete for task. Okay, delete task in here, and we'll simply just provide the integer type index. We're gonna pass that parameter from here, and just take this down. So again, we will just have this string. It will change the result dynamically. Okay, right after the related task. So in here set state, and then we say task, then simply we'll say remove at, and here we'll provide the index. Which index? The parameter we are passing in here as integer type. So in here just provide it right at and semicolon. It will do our specific work then. Now below that, in here I'll just take this down, create another one, wide, it's going to return nothing, private, in here underscore, and then we'll say toggle task, and simply for the computation. Okay, so in here we'll just provide the name, and gonna just pass the parameter in here as index, integer type, in here curly braces, take this down for the specific method. Now right in here, you guys know already, to start when you change the result dynamically, in here we'll provide the task. Okay, the task, because the multiple tasks gonna be right in this task. Okay, so we have to just put the s with it. So come here, right click, go to the refactor, rename, because the multiple tasks will be there, so we have to provide the s then. Okay, and it's gonna just stand out with the other tasks, so we have to provide the s, but it will not make any problem right in the code. Okay, it will work just fine with the tasks, but I'm adding that because it's an array and multiple tasks will be there, as I told you already so many times. Now in here task, as I told you, Now in here we'll provide the specific index that we are passing above as a parameter integer type, and now in this what I'll assign, we'll say string first in here and then semicolon right in there. I'll provide a check. You guys can see that right in here. You can simply just copy that from the Google and paste it right in here. Okay, now in here I'll go with the dollar sign and then curly braces, because in here I'll have the task, okay, and with a specific index, and all just fine. So it's gonna just toggle the task completion. The task will be completed, and it's gonna just assign date right in here. You guys will notice the output whenever we'll complete that and test the app. And right in here, whenever the user will put something right in here, their specific tasks, and right after is going to just add it right in here in tasks right in here. So you guys will notice that check sign and with their content of a specific user. So that's why in here it's a computation for the tasks. Right down below it will be completed and show it to the user down below specifically, and we just assign that right in this task index, okay, with a specific index. So we are done with the methods. Now the other thing that we will do, simply just scroll down and come towards the on tap event for text form field in here. Now we'll do the remaining work. Now we will do a little creative work right here. So we're going to simply just remove that on tap, because whenever the user will just enter something right in here, their specific task, then we will set the if condition and we'll check if that not empty, then we will just call upon the callback function. It will just automatically add the task and call upon that specific method right in here, and it will just simultaneously add that. So for that specific purpose, we're gonna simply just remove that from here, and we're gonna have the on field submitted, call upon that right in here. And in here, whenever, as I told you already, the user will enter something right in here, for example the task is going to be right inside on the field submitted right in this value. So we are passing that parameter in here as a value for the on submitter callback function. And then, as I told you already, we'll set the if condition, because we will check that value, okay, which value, that specific value. We'll check if that not empty. So in that case, what we will do in here, call the braces, tag this down, add the add task function right in here, call upon that right in here, and we will provide the task. So it's going to be simply the specific value that we are passing, okay, which value, this one. And if you go just back to the add task function right in here, we are passing that parameter task as a string type, okay. So it's going to simply just add the add task simultaneously, and you guys know already about that. I have already explained this in detail. So let's go down. It will just do their specific work right on the on field submitted right in the text form field, okay. So we are done with that. Let's move further. Now we are left with the task completion. So what I'll do, below this task, you guys can see that task in here, just press enter, and in here we'll have the expanded widget in here. Just take this down from here, in here, comma and child. So we'll have the list view. I'll just explain this in detail. First let me just write it in here, and then we say builder. You guys can see dot builder, okay. So it's gonna take the item builder, and also let me just add the comma in here. We'll just add the properties now in here right in the list view builder. First let me just write the code and I'll explain it in detail. Then in here item count, simply for the total length of a task, okay, that is going to be the item count dot length. And right after that we'll go with the item builder. So in here we'll provide the contacts in here, comma, then we say index, okay. Now what I'll do in here, curly braces, you guys can see that, and tag this down from here. Now in there we'll just return the list style widget. You guys can see that right in here. Okay, and write it and semicolon, take this down. Now first I'll set the title. Okay, so in here text, and we'll say the title is going to be the task that the user will enter with their specific index. Okay, we'll provide that in here, and then we'll say trailing. We'll add the trailing, and simply in there we'll just add the icon button. Okay, let me just take this down, add the icon. So we'll say icon, and then in here icons we'll go with a dot check. Let me just see, that would be great. And right after that in here add the on press event in here. Okay, so whenever the user will press right on the completed task, now we successfully add the on press event. So whenever the user will press, okay, then we'll just call upon the toggle task computation. So it will just complete the task and show the output to the user, as I explained the specific work right for this method earlier, okay, above. So whenever the user will press, it will just add that and the specific work. Which work? Let me just show you in here, right in the toggle task computation. It will just get that, and we just assign it to this task, okay, with the specific index, and that is going to be the completed task and show the result. So I have already explained this in detail. We just call upon that in here. That's why right in the on press event. Now right after that, if the user wants to delete that specific task, completed task, okay, their output is going to be right in here, and it's going to be the completed task. So right after that, if the user want to delete that specific completed task, then the user will long press on that specific task. It will just delete that automatically. So for that specific purpose, I'll do a little work in here. We'll say on long press. Okay, so if the user gonna just press a little long, it will just delete the specific completed task. Now you guys will notice that what I'm doing here. So we call upon deleted task. Okay, you guys can see that with the specific index, because they're going to be the multiple tasks with their specific index, so we have to provide that in here. And also in the deleted tasks, we are just passing that parameter in here, as I explained this earlier in detail. So we are done with all our work. You guys can see now. I'll just hot reload the app since we make a major change, so we have to just hot reload the app. We are done with that. You guys can see that. Now let's go ahead and just test the app. Okay, so in here you guys can see, as I told you already so many times, for adding the new task, come here, tap on it. Let's say, alright, tomorrow will be my birthday. Okay, that's gonna be my task. Add it. You guys can see that tomorrow my birthday. So if I just tap on it, okay, that's why in here we add that check icon. So if the specific task right on the first index, you guys can see that if that going to be completed, then the user will tap on this specific check icon, and it will show that green tick right in here, as we added right in the toggle task completion method. Let me just show you. Okay, that's what I'm talking about before, and you guys can see that, okay, right in here. And so the task is completed. You guys can see that right in here. and I'll just add another task. We'll say today is my last day for visit. Now in here, tap, there we go, with another right on the second index. You guys can see that, and you guys can see it's not completed yet, and you guys can see there is no blue checked yet. If that's going to be completed, and the user will just tap in here, for example, as we said right in the list style, that check icon button, and on press completed task. So let's go ahead and complete that. So the user will tap in here and it's going to be completed. So like that, the user can add a multiple tasks. That's why above right in here, the user's tasks going to be right inside that, and we created that array. Now right down in here, right on the long press, the tasks will be deleted. So let's say I'm about to delete this specific completed task. So what I'll do, I'll just long press that specific task. So there we go with the long press, and it's deleted. It's working totally fine, and you guys can see that. So I hope it's clear now, and you can just tap whatever you want right in here, your specific task, add it, complete it, delete it, whatever you want right in here. So it's the simplest way to make an app like to-do list. So you guys already noticed the code that I explained in detail. It's really simple. So it's the simplest way to make an app which will be useful for the future for your specific tasks. Now, as I told you already, I will explain this in detail. Okay, so in here you guys can see that expanded widget. Basically we call upon that in here because this widget is used to ensure the list view dot builder. Okay, it takes up all the available vertical spaces within its parent widget. Okay, that's the parent widget for the list view dot builder, and that's the child you guys can see right in here. And this list view, you guys can see that dot builder, this widget creates a scrollable list of widgets basically based on the specific index, as I told you already right down in here, because the user will add multiple tags in here and it's going to be scrollable. Okay, now in here you guys can see that there is only just single tags, and you guys can see that little scroll. Okay, if you guys just let me just type in here anything and I'll add it again. I'll type anything in here just to show you the scrollable thing. Okay, let me just add another one. You can just do whatever you want right in here, and let me just see. Okay, it will scroll it like that. Okay, above like that, below like that. Long press, delete it, delete it. So that's why in here specifically we use that list view dot builder widget. And I told you already about this item count. That's going to be the number of items, for example the tasks in the list, which is basically determined by the length of the specific task. Okay, there we go. And right after that you guys can see that item builder, that's a callback that takes a context and specifically the index and return the widget at the specific index in the list. In this case it just return a list style. You guys can see that for each task. Okay, and specifically this list style widget, this will represent a single item in the list. You guys already noticed that. Okay, and in here we just add the title. The title is going to be the task that the user will enter, so you guys will notice that in here whenever you will just enter the task. Okay, it's going to be down below in here as a title, and you guys already noticed that. And that trailing, you guys already know, is positioned on the right side. of the list tile. You guys can see that. Okay, so we add the icon button, you guys can see that, and then I've already explained this in detail, the on press even, what it will do, and also the long press for delete task. So I hope it's clear now, because I have already explained this in detail, step by step, and all of our work is done. And this is the simplest way, as I told you already, for making an app which will give the useful and creative output. So basically that's it for this app. See you in the next one.